Welcome back to Wiseman Company, everyone. Ben here yet again, and I'm going back to backup irons on a handgun. Maybe. Probably not. I wanted to revisit this because Continuous Precision reached out to me. For those of you that don't know, Continuous Precision makes a number of parts. I did a review on their trigger, but a number of parts for Glocks, handguns in general, and they make a set of backup irons specifically for red dot sights. And they said, hey, maybe you just haven't tried good backup irons. Me, I'm not too prideful to say I might be wrong, so I wanted to revisit it and try it again. So, got these sights in, put them on my carry gun, and went to work. A little bit about these sights. Let's touch on those real quick. They're made out of steel. They're incredibly tough. The rear sight fits into the dovetail very, very tightly. I have lost a number of iron sights in my life from banging them off, barricades or just stupid mistakes by catching the sights on a doorway as I went through it, and backup irons fall off. They break, like anything else. And the better the fitment, the harder it is to do that. So installing these Continuous Precision backup irons was labor intensive. Not labor intensive that it was complicated, but the fitment in this rear sight is tight. I would be very surprised if I ever knocked it out. Anything's possible again, but just one thing to note that the fitment on these was great. Absolutely phenomenal fitment. Gave me a lot of confidence using these. Again, they're made out of steel. They're black oxide coated. They have serrations. It's black on black. You can get them with tritium. I just got them black on black. I don't mind that. It's a little bit less distracting for me, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And they give you a lower 1/3 in your window. Some of you like more sights in your window. Some of you like less. I like no sights in my window. But these are really, really low in the window. Like, they barely clear it. And that's probably the best option for me if I'm going to use backup irons with a red dot. You can get them for around $45. They're a little bit more expensive if you get the tritium. I think that's pretty reasonable for iron sights on a handgun. All right, so that's a little bit about the iron sights, some specs there. If you're a believer in backup iron sights, highly recommend checking out Continuous Precision. They are very well built. I love that fitment. Again, I don't think they're gonna bust off anytime soon. Price point's good, around $45. Hard to beat that. Did they convert me back to backup irons on a handgun? Short answer, no. There's two reasons why I don't run backup irons. One being I find them distracting, and two, they take up window space of the very little window space you have with a micro red dot. Let's start with being distracting. I ran these sights without the dot for a while, just as regular irons, just to make sure everything's on the level, everything's working as it should, even height, even light with the front and rear, everything was good to go there. So ran them without a dot, wanted to give them a fair shake like that. Then I put the dot on, and every time I draw, I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's a training issue. And like most things in the firearms world, it's probably a training issue. But every time I drew and presented that gun, my eyes would see those irons, and it was like, oh, I need to start lining up iron sights, front and rear, even height, even light. And then I'd be like, oh, no, I don't. I have a dot there. And it's just like a split second. And I would just kind of catch myself questioning my sighting system. So it was distracting. Like, every single time I would see it, and again, it's probably just a training issue, but I would start to line up those sights instead of just pick up the dot, present it to target. The best way I can explain it with an example is if you ever use those SIRT pistols and they have a laser in them, and they're a great training tool, but a lot of times with those SIRT pistols, when people draw them, they start hunting for the laser instead of actually using their sights. The laser is just to confirm that their sight picture is good when they squeeze the trigger. People start to cheat it and just look for the laser or the dot that's being presented on a target or a wall or something like that, and they're not really lining up their iron sights. So it's kind of like that. I had a dot, I had something that worked perfectly good, but my mind was telling me, oh, iron sights, start lining them up, but I didn't need to do that. So they're distracting. And for some of you, you probably won't even think about it. You think that's a stupid reason. Maybe I have a mental defect, and it's probably not maybe. There probably is some bad wiring up there. But that's really what happened to me every time I drew the pistol. Second reason being that they're taking up window space. Now, these continuous precision sights only took up a very small amount of window space, but it still took up space. It just makes the whole window a little bit more distracting. It's like having a reticle in an optic that's really busy. You know, there's lines going every way, and it's just a busy reticle, and it can be kind of annoying, honestly, because you just need a clear pinpoint spot to do your aiming, and that's it. And with a micro red dot, again, you don't have a large window, and those backup irons are going to take up some of that little bit of space you have. So it's just kind of busy in there. I didn't really need it. Like, just get those out of my way. Let me use the dot. Let me go to work. So those are the two really big reasons. If I had to throw a third in there, and this is kind of speculative, is that I don't think I'd go mentally switch to backup irons if I presented my handgun and my dot was down. I don't think that's a feasible option, especially when time is of the essence. You know, it's not like in Top Gun where, oh, I'm too close for missiles, switching to guns. My red dot's down, switching to irons. Like, that's just not going to happen. If any of you have done force on force, you know, if you present that gun and maybe you don't have a good grip, or maybe you're missing a front or rear sight in force on force, you're going to just start shooting with whatever you got because someone's shooting at you. So that's my third reason, and that's kind of speculative, but I just don't think it's a logical reason for having backup irons that my main dot's going to go down, so I realize that it's down, and then I'm going to switch to my iron sights. I just don't think that's feasible if time's of the essence and you're in the fight for your life. So that's kind of what I think. I'm glad I did revisit it, and I'm probably going to keep those irons on for a little bit just to make sure, like, maybe I can work through it, figure it out. I think for those of you that do have backup irons with your red dot, I wouldn't tell you to change anything. It doesn't, if it doesn't bother you, it doesn't hurt to have them there. You know, you can still use them if your dot goes down and it's necessary to do so. I'm not telling anyone to change anything that's working for them. I just know that this has kind of been what I have experienced. And I'm just trying to help others out there, because a lot of times on the internet, and this is what happened to me, you don't have backup irons on your handgun, and everyone, seems like 50% of the population is going to come in and slam you and tell you that you're going to be killed like a dog in the street. That can be discouraging for people that are just starting out with a red dot and are distracted, or, you know, do want more window visibility, and, you know, they're just starting out. It can be tough. They feel like they need to have backup irons, and maybe they don't. I don't think I'm going to be going back to backup irons on a handgun. Again, I'll leave these on for a little bit, see how it goes, but I think I'm just going to run straight red dot, continue to do that. For those of you that are looking for a good set of backup irons, I would highly recommend Continuous Precision. These are well-made sights. It's a good company. Check them out. Highly recommend it. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to talk about it. Let me know what backup irons you guys like to use with your red dot. There's a wide variety out there. I want to hear from you. You know, I'm always interested to hear what other people are running. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Go check us out at wisemancompany.com. A lot of great gear over there, like slings, split fixes for SBA 3, Bubba tabs, EDC gear, all sorts of great stuff. And that directly supports us. So wisemancompany.com. My name is Ben Brown. We'll see you on the next video.